What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mr. Straight Facts Show. I'm Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get it in. What's up, Dennis? Yeah, you said something earlier that made me laugh. But what I want to talk about today, I took a deep dive into these Epstein files. I've been, taking care of my mom, so I really wasn't paying attention to a lot of things. I would see a clip here and there, but I couldn't respond. So I noticed in these Epstein files, man, I don't see how Todd Bland says that they can't charge or even investigate people. I mean, at the very minimum, these people should be investigated. I mean, I don't know how many emails you guys have gotten through. I'm like, my mind is kind of like flipping out on how many I looked at today, and some of the things you would never think that would be associated with Jeffrey Epstein, a man. Like the term gynecologist. I would never think that a man would be attached to a gynecologist. I guarantee you, you look up any file and you put up my name and you say gynecologist, you won't find shit. Not a thing. Not me saying it in an email, not me ever having anything to do with that conversation. None whatsoever. This man has so much. It's crazy how there are women asking this man for a good gynecologist. Now, I'm sure there are women that he assaulted at some point in time, but yeah, they're asking him for a good gynecologist. And there are men that are asking him for one, and we're going to talk about that one here in a minute, which would blow your mind. You know what I'm saying? At least it blows mine. And like I said, I've been having my head filled with this stuff all day. I'm kind of tired, but I had to come on and talk about it. But first, let's get to something that happened a little while ago, and that was Tulsi Gabbard going to Fulton County and looking at their voting polls and shit like that. Why? It's crazy how they lost that, and Donald Trump won't let go of it. And because he won't let go of it, these people are out here doing his bidding. Donald Trump knows this is highly suspicious, if not illegal to do. And therefore, he distanced himself from it while throwing Pam Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard under the bus and be like, I don't know nothing about this. It's crazy to me how these people keep getting set up by him. I mean, the grift is strong. I don't know. At this point in time, I'm starting to believe that everybody around him either has something to do with pedophilia, has something to do with these women. If not, were one of these women, or were one of the people benefiting from these girls. I say women, girls, or was he? I'm starting to believe it because I can't fathom you seeing this and not being a whistleblower. You have to really go deep into the mind of a deprived or depraved person to sit here and think like, wait a minute, you got into office and found out that Trump was a pedo, and you decided to run with the pedo. That's what your decision was. I'm in too deep now. I'm going to run with him and give him cover because I'm getting paid to do this. Money is more important than children. And these bastards have kids. Wow. This is insane. I just never thought. I mean, again, I think people are inherently good. So how in the hell did Donald Trump find some evil ass people? Not one, not two, but hundreds of evil ass people. Because there's no way that you can go to work every day and know that Donald Trump's name is in these files over 5,300 times, and those are the files that they have released. They know his name is in there way more than the 5,300. They have hidden this man's files. They have covered them up. And they were the ones talking about the Democrats had this Pizzagate thing, and that they were drinking the blood of children and taking all this. The thing that gets me with these MAGAs is that weren't you the group of people who were saying that, just because you saw Joe Biden kiss his granddaughter on the head at the funeral of his son, and that being her father. You bastards call him a pedophile because he kissed the top of the head of his grandchild. Yet you the same people that have heard Donald Trump talk about he wants to fuck his own daughter and that she was voluptuous since she was a child. And that doesn't qualify as pedo. We keep on trying to argue with idiots. We keep on trying to make people who are demons, devils, into just average folks. They'll never see it because they are attached to demonic shit. You got to start to understand now, if these people have seen the devil and they hug him, then why are we talking to the devil? We might as well just pray, because there's no way in hell you're going to get the devil to turn around and be a saint. There's no way in the hell you can get these people who say they aren't racist, xenophobic, anti-gay, anti-black. You can't get these people to come over to the other side. They already done sold their soul to the devil. You can tell. Donald Trump is a bona fide, I mean bona fide, in these files, pedophile. There has been over 4 people, at least 3 I know for sure, that were children that said that Donald Trump raped them as children. And why are we having this conversation that it could possibly not be? I don't get that shit. This is demonizing the child. Why would a child say they were attacked by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein? Kate Johnson. There's another girl that mentioned the name Tiffany, and it wasn't his daughter that we didn't know for sure. They mentioned the name girl Tiffany was in the room when Donald Trump tied her up and was thinking about playing a game. The girl thought it was a game. Then he commenced to raping her, then gets up off the girl who's crying, and then Tiffany comes over and tries to console her. I didn't know this was going to happen, says Tiffany, and then the girl's kind of upset and mad and all this. And Donald Trump is basically like, shut up, bitch. You're lucky it was me and not some pimple-faced young boy. This is hellified detail. But it's all fake according to these demons that call themselves MAGA. I don't got past the point of saying they're just regular people. These are devils. There's no way in hell you can look at all this shit and literally think that they are just regular ass people. They talk about, what, reptilian people? That's them. It is 100% them. Devil, reptilian, whatever you want to call it, that is MAGA. It's got to be. You can't tell me that you rolling with MAGA and you know the guy. I call him the OPIC. The Orange Pedophile in Chief. OPIC. OPIC. Because there's no way you can roll with the OPIC and talk about you love God. How? God loves children. Not the way that Donald Trump and his buddies do. And you can't tell me he got 30-something people before he even became president said he grabbed them by the pussy. He says that he grabs women by the pussy. They'll let you do it out of his own mouth. And you can't add 1 + 1 and come up with pedo or assaulter. You come up with, oh, he's such a great guy. Again, you can't fight with demons. They are not trying to come over to meet Jesus. They are dead up trying to meet the devil reincarnated. And they call him Jesus. But he's the white Jesus, which is not the real Jesus. I've already been convinced now. Because after looking at these files and prior to realizing that these people have literally said Donald Trump and these animals have done this shit to him. And you got MAGA sitting here trying to fight to deny these individuals who've been crying out for decades that these people are evil. We find out that Howard Lutnick, evil. This man literally said, oh, I went over to his house and oh my God, I saw a massage table in the middle of his house and he got creepy. He got up close to me and he said, you know, the right kind. And I didn't want to be with him. So I ran across the street or 6 feet from his house and I just I went home and never again did I talk to him. Yet in these fucking emails, bitch, you're still talking to him. You're going to functions with him. He's saying had a great time, meaning you motherfuckers went out together. Yeah, you sitting here saying, I ain't got nothing to do with him. I knew then that he was a creep. Really? So that means you knew he was a creep and you still hung around him. What does that make you, sir? Huh? Makes you a creep. Because you liked the dude until the world decided that he was no longer a good person, which all of us who found out back then in 2008, 2006, whatever the fuck it was, we knew he was a piece of shit. So did you. But in 2012 and so on, you were still hanging with your boy, which tells me you already knew he was a pedophile and you wanted to go to his island. Pedophile island. You wanted to go to it. And so Elon Musk also knew he was a pedophile, and he also knew what was going on that island. He had to have known. How can you not know? It was 2006 when you found out what he was doing. It's 2012 and more. Beyond that, you want to go to his island. On Christmas Day, 2012, you want to go to the wildest party that a pedophile can hold. That would mean a bunch of kids being there, because there's no way in hell there's a bunch of grown-ups. You're talking to a bona fide pedophile who has a ring of this shit. You can't tell me you're a billionaire and you know this man and you know other billionaires and millionaires that haven't spoke up about, oh, yeah, that dude be having the parties over there. They don't have the parties of a bunch of grown-ups. His parties are a bunch of kids. The kids said that this is the thing. They're walking around. There are many women who spoke up that when they were doing this, they would walk around that island nude. They couldn't wear clothes. So you're telling me the wildest party were nude kids running around the fucking party, and you was like, oh, I want to have the wildest one. Elon Musk. You got a lot of explaining to do. Another thing these weird billionaire idiots had was this idea that they had superior genes. Elon Musk is I ain't gonna say that word. I almost said it. Let's just say he's an idiot. Everybody wants to make he's like, oh, no. The dude is not fucking bright. I don't know where they get that shit from. Listen to him talk. He's not bright. He was rich and powerful, but bright is not it. Those engineers that he hires to do the things that they do, they're it. Him micromanaging them, underpaying them, and doing, that's what he does. Donald Trump, same way. Not smart. Their families did all the dirt when they were young to give them all kinds of wealth. And then they try to say, oh, we made it on our own. No, you didn't. That millionaire family, billionaire family, multimillionaire family, that's what got you where you are. In all those years, these people think of themselves like mad scientists. In these documents, you find out that Jeffrey Epstein was breeding girls. He was making them have babies. He was trying to create these super genes, children. What he did with them, we don't know. There's an email talking about a girl who was forced. We know she's a girl by the way she talks about giving birth to a baby. She said it was like a tummy ache, or it's tummy when your tummy hurts and then you got to push. Who the fuck talks about pregnancy like that? A kid. Why do we know it's a kid? Because they wanted to take her to New Mexico after she had given birth to this baby, to have everything kind of cool down. And she said, wait a minute, I got to go to school. No college kid. We were talking about going to school. So it had to be a high school kid. If not elementary, the hell if I know. And guess who was right there helping her push? Ghislaine Maxwell. Crazy part about that, they ask her to close her eyes when the baby's coming out so she doesn't see the baby. She doesn't close her eyes fully. She sees a baby. She sees a little hand. She sees a tiny foot. It's a girl that's crying. They take the baby out, rush her outside the room. She hears them talking. Soon after, the baby's not screaming anymore. It was crying. It was gone. The screams are gone. And she hears Ghislaine Maxwell say, she was a beautiful baby. Was is what this child heard. Was what happened to my baby is what this girl said. She had no idea what they had done with her child, that she just knows it disappeared. Was he selling these babies or was he killing these babies? We don't know. Either one is horrific. Ghislaine Maxwell is the person they decided to give her a fucking dog or a puppy. Donald Trump wished that she had a good trial and that she enjoys herself basically in jail or something like that. Todd Blanche and Donald Trump goes down and gets her to say, hey, Donald Trump ain't got nothing to do with it. And then she gets favors. The whole world sees what they've done. And what in the world can anybody do about it? That's fucked up. We're seeing them right before our eyes violate these women over and over again by giving their violator, the person who did it to them, the criminal, the pedophile, giving them favor, while you've never heard Todd Blanche or Donald Trump say anything comforting to the victims. They've told them to get over it. They told them that it's over now, that you got, 50% of the files? It's over now. There's no cases to be had. Bullshit. Read these things. There's a lot of investigations to be had that never happened. Oh, and by the way, did you know they had like a little chart of people who were, they started a chart of people who, and Jeffrey Epstein was in the center. And it goes out to different people, like his employees, Ghislaine Maxwell, and some other kind of assistants, and all these different shits. There are people whose faces are redacted. Do you know one of them actually went to jail, and while waiting court, he died? Him too? I don't know what he died of, but I know he died in jail waiting for trial, just like Jeffrey Epstein. And there's nothing to investigate. Where are the cameras for that murder? Or I don't know if he got murdered or he died of cancer. I don't know what he died of, but he died waiting in court, waiting for court to happen. It's crazy. None of this shit to them is anything. And you could tell, like, if you are a father or a brother or sister, depends on the individual, you wouldn't be searching for the person day and night to find out what they did to these people. And as a person who is empowered to find these criminals, you don't feel it weird that nobody in office has sympathy or empathy for the victims? Even Marjorie Taylor Greene said something to the effect of, I was talking to Donald Trump about these women, and I thought that they should come and speak to Donald Trump, who has never, by the way, had a conversation with these women, but wants to talk to Donald Trump. And he told me when he brought me in, you're going to get a lot of my friends in trouble. His friends in trouble is what he cared about, and not the victims, which tells you birds of a feather flock together. What else can you get from that? MAGA, what can you get from that? I mean, he literally said he's not going to release all the Epstein files because his friends will get in trouble, which means he will get in trouble because Donald Trump don't give a fuck about his friends. His friend used to be Bill Clinton. Threw his ass under the bus, said, oh, well, Bill Clinton did it. That was a one and only person he threw under the bus. Never mind the fact that he's hired people that are in his circle, Howard Lutnick, who was his next door neighbor. I got a question for y'all. But yet, I got a scenario for y'all. I bought a house many years ago. I'm divorced now. Wife's got the house. It is what it is. But when I lived in this house for over a decade or so, we had a few neighbors. Now, one, I got to know, we got cool and shit like that. They moved. We still hung out, talk shit like that on the phone. Out of that. The next side of the house was this skinny, scrawny white dude that never had a fucking job. How do I know this? I'm a workaholic, and I still noticed. I come home, he be home. My days off, he be home. I see him riding around as a 30-some-year-old man on child scooters, having fun, going around the corner. I'm like, this man must be rich and don't have no job. Maybe rich. I don't know why he living over here. Same dude never took care of his yard. I didn't just stand outside and watch this man. Be like, I wonder what he's doing. No, I'm not a person. I'm not a voyeur. I don't be trying to look at everybody. I don't even be paying attention to people most of the time. But I knew in front of my yard, I come out, be drinking coffee and shit, just sitting in my yard, loving my space. Like, wow, see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars drive by. Stop. Police cars drive by. Stop. This man bring out little baggies, bap, and then move, turn around. How you doing, neighbor? Now, I know he wasn't selling celery up in that bitch. Now, I know he wasn't the neighborhood farmer. I saw this man sell drugs, not in front of his house. He had him step up under my tree. He walked out of his house and walked down in front of my house and buy drugs and sell drugs. That's how I knew the man was doing what he was doing. Now, you're going to tell me this man lived 30 feet away from me. My door to his door, good 30 feet. You're going to tell me that Howard Lutnick lived 6 feet, according to him, 6 or 7, something like that. Might got my number wrong, but 6 or 7 feet away from Jeffrey Epstein. And this fool never saw kids come in his house and just disappear. This man never saw him have parties and children just walking up into the house. You telling me he never saw that shit? I call bullshit. Every one of y'all got neighbors, don't seen them do some shit. You be like, oh, they over there smoking weed. I can smell it. Something like that. You gonna tell me this man had no idea that kids was coming in that house and spending the night without their parents? I call bullshit. Bullshit. We all got neighbors, and if your neighbor's 6 foot away, I can see if you're in a farmland, which I have family who lived there and continue to live there. Whereas in Mississippi, here's one house, the next house is fucking 1.5 miles away. I can see if your neighbor's that far, you don't know. 6 feet? I call bullshit. Bullshit. He knew. He knew. Donald Trump knows these people around him are part of his clique. They were there when these parties was happening. Some of these judges were. I'm sure some of these Supreme Court justices were. Because it's just so strange how the law doesn't matter anymore to a lot of these major people who happen to be close to Donald Trump. The only thing that would change the way they used to do law prior to is if you're just like Jeffrey Epstein and you got that sweetheart deal because of what did Lutnick say? He had video of them in these massage rooms. So that's how he got his sweetheart deal. So how do you get people who say they believe in the law? Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, I said Howard Lutnick, all these other people. How do you get them to break the law? How do you get them to go against everything they said they believed in? Law and order, family. How do you get them to go against it? You bribe them. You got something on them. After all, Howard Lutnick says that was the thing that Jeffrey Epstein did. And guess what? Remember that little picture that Donald Trump drew, whereas he had these prepubescent breasts alongside of him signing his name as the hair on the vagina? It literally talks about they're basically two birds of a feather. They're the same. And these beautiful, wonderful secrets and how they are enigmas together. Donald Trump didn't invest in anything like Jeffrey Epstein supposedly done. The only thing they really had in common from the outside looking in was they both owned these child, or at least these pageantries with girls. They both were accused of being pedophiles and raping a 13 and a 14-year-old girl or more for Epstein. So how are you an enigma and you're the same, Donald Trump, when y'all don't do anything else different? I mean, nothing else the same. The only thing y'all do the same was real estate, pedophilia, right? And bribe people. And it's so crazy how all these people around him, he put rich people around him. He put the guy who's supposed to be this major investor who looks crazy as hell. The sister, that's how he looks. More than likely, they are part of this entire ring that's been going on forever. Who else would he know? Who else can a pedophile trust to be around other than people just like him? Can't be good, wholesome people hanging around him, because those people will rat him out. It has to be that the people who hang with you, the people who love you, are part of the same clique. We all have a clique. We all have a clique. I got homies, we play basketball, or we create things, or creators, we have mutuals. We all have these different cliques. You tell me, what do they have in common? Why would Donald Trump and him be boys, like best friends, inviting each other over? His brother knew what he was. You knew Donald Trump knew. And his brother used to, in these emails, the ones that we came out earlier, talked about how Donald Trump had blew somebody. These people were talking about devious or sexual acts like it was a thing to talk about. How many of you have sent a text, other than you and your girl when y'all started out maybe doing some shit like that, doing crazy stuff? No, when have you sent your homie a text talking about just sexual encounters with people, gynecologists and shit? When have you done that? I would say never for most brothers in here. But Donald Trump and his clique were. Epstein, Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother. It's crazy. Just crazy. You got the people working for Donald Trump. You got, going back to our original conversation about Tulsi Gabbard. We'll get back to it, but about Tulsi Gabbard going to Fulton County and spying on the polls and shit like that. We get Todd Blanche, the same dude with this Epstein shit. He comes out. Now, you know, he works for Pam Bondi, DOJ. He comes out and says, Tulsi Gabbard, I seen the same pictures you guys saw. She ain't doing nothing. She was just there hanging. She wasn't working for the DOJ. Let's listen to what he had to say.
It was reported that
she happened to be present in Atlanta. I mean, yes, I saw the same photos you did. I mean, she doesn't work for the Department of Justice or the FBI.
She doesn't work for the Department of Justice or FBI is what he said. He don't know why she's there. Well, Tulsi Gabbard, as you can see in this photo right here, she literally says she was told to do it by our OPIC, the Orange Pedophile in Chief. My presence was requested by the president. That's what Tulsi Gabbard said. So she has validation at the president. But the president shouldn't be peeking on other voting things. It kind of seems like you're doing something illegal that shouldn't be done. At least suspicious, and something that should be investigated by the House or Senate, Democrats or something. That they're going around doing these devious acts, hiding, being a spy. What was she supposed to gather from spying on people? What did she gain from it? What was she supposed to gain from it? Intimidation, give them information about what's going on so that they can be able to, when it actually comes time to vote, that they can be able to intercept it, get the other governments to understand how the process works. I mean, because something tells me it's a nefarious reason why they're doing this. It ain't about protecting nothing. It's about figuring out how they can break the rules. They don't care about law. They don't care about caring about America. They want America to be theirs and nobody else's. And they're doing everything they can to find out how to fuck with this election. She's on a spy mission on how to fuck the elections up, not how to, oh, it's going to be a great election. We're going to try and make it valid. Nope. We already know it's valid. And those people who were asleep and still believing in Donald Trump, well, the woke people are here. We've been here the entire time. Woke is a good thing. Sleeping is not. You can't sleep through this. Wake your ass up and recognize that the OPIC is out here harming children when he was younger. Now he's trying to destroy America because he don't want you guys to find out what kind of devious piece of shit human he's always been. This man can't handle losing, so he manufactures a win. Even in his head, he still hasn't lost the 2020 election. He got his ass mollywopped, 7 million plus, and he still can't, oh my God, can't believe it. That's the type of weak piece of shit human you guys follow. Somebody who couldn't lose. Somebody when you was a kid, played basketball, whatever. He couldn't do that, I'm sure. But played basketball and you beat him by 30 points. And they're like, no, I won, you cheated. That dude, the one you couldn't stand as a kid, is this grown ass, diaper wearing, orange piece of shit that you love all of a sudden. I don't get it, but hey, it's your world. It's your world. You do that. You love crappy orange people. But let's continue on, seeing as how Todd Blanche said, I seen the pictures you saw. It's no big deal. She's not working for the DOJ. That's all I know. Then she says she's working for the president. Okay, what happens next?
I'm not involved in it, but they are inspecting and checking the ballots.
Why is Tulsi Gabbard there?
I don't know.
Why is Tulsi Gabbard there? I don't know. Okay, wait a minute. Tulsi Gabbard literally said, I'm there because the president sent me. So who's the senile one here? We know it's Donald Trump. So now he's in an interview saying, I don't know who sent her, because he knows it's wrong. And this man never admits anything. He lies just to be lying. It is the only switch he knows. There is no truth switch. His switch is to lie at all costs. Never tell the truth. Ever. So he excludes himself. So he's like, I can't be blamed for it. Tulsi Gabbard did that on her own. I don't know what. I have no idea why she did it. This is the presidency and his administration. If they don't know who's doing what, how's this country being run? Donald Trump takes no responsibility, and everybody takes order from a dude that says, I don't remember giving you that order. How are you running a country and doing anything right with a man who can't remember or will never take responsibility, which looks like he can't remember, over shit? So how do you get shit done? You don't. This country is like a ship sailing without rudders, without an engine. We just out in the ocean, just floating, hoping this bitch don't fall apart. Because your captain is senile, stupid, and he's wearing a diaper, and he doesn't remember shit. Squirrel, that's him, 100%. And that's the dude running the countries. And none of these people are speaking. Todd Blanche don't know who did it, right? She says it's the president. The president said, I didn't do it. Now, who does the president believe did it if he didn't do it?
We have our director of national and international intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who's doing a great job. Where's Tulsi? She took a lot of heat 2 days ago because she went in at Pam's insistence. She went in and she looked at votes.
I saw the same photos.
She looked at votes. So Donald Trump just said Pam Bondi was a person that said that she was supposed to go. Not Donald Trump. Now let's go back to the top, as you see right here. Todd Blanche says she doesn't work for the DOJ. He knows that for sure. So if Pam Bondi sent her, that would mean she worked for the DOJ. We have yet to hear back from what Pam Bondi says. But one would understand that once he called her out in public and she's in the room, supposedly, because he was like, where is she? Where is she? Where is that? You would think, hopefully she wasn't there, because if somebody could interview her right after this had happened, she would have gave you a different story. Which leads back to, as you can see him say it again.
You did. I mean, she doesn't work for the Department of Justice or the FBI.
Did President Trump himself ever ask DNI Gabbard to head down to Fulton County, Georgia?
The president was asked and answered that question.
No, he didn't. But this right here, he had asked and answered that question the day before, and that first one that he said, I don't know, was the one she's talking about. So it gets down to the fact we don't know what the fuck is going on in the White House. The shit they're doing, whoever. We don't know. The president was supposedly telling Tulsi Gabbard what to do. She didn't mention Pam Bondi. Now all of a sudden the president is throwing it on Pam Bondi, who didn't tell Todd Blanche, because obviously he said it didn't happen from their department. I don't know what to tell you, other than the fact that you got like the Three Stooges running the damn country. I mean, really. This is what happens when you get people who want people dumb as them running the country because they feel good that they are dumb as shit and their president is just as dumb. That they can all like, oh, one day we can go share, not even a beer with them. I don't know what they do. Medication. I don't know. But it's like, oh, he's such a just like me, a racist piece of shit. I just love him. That right there is what got this country in this effed up situation. You got a man running a country that don't even know what tariffs are, but he's in love with them. He's in love with tariffs. And you got people out here who are investors, okay? Big time investors. They know what tariffs are. And they're out here, well, tariff does work if you have the industries. Do we have the industry, sir? And this was so tripped out how these Democrats and others don't fucking just say that. Do we have the industries in which you are talking about? That would be a fuck no. Okay, then. So how are tariffs working for us? They're not. We don't have the industries, and it's going to take. This is what kills me. You watch these different debates of these other, YouTubers and TikTok people who are, constantly having these debates with these MAGA idiots, and they don't know what a tariff is, bro. And even the ones who say they're in finance, they're like, well, our industry. They give you that point. The industries, if they were here, it's not his fault that the industries aren't here. It's his fault they threw tariffs on before the industries came back. Do you think the industries are going to come back? No. Why won't they come back? Because who's going to buy a iPhone for $6,000? Huh? Not I. How about you? We ain't buying it. So why in the hell would we want an industry to come back that we can't benefit from? Now, if we could figure out a way to build these industries, right? First, get them up and running, and then turn the spigot off by tariffs from other countries, and then our companies could thrive. But it's not going to be the idea that these people believe in. I don't know if you've seen it. You can Google it if you choose, or whatever browser you may use. Google, Safari, I don't care. But look up the factories over in China and how they build certain things, whether it be cars, whether it be clothes, I don't care what it is. And look up like robot or AI bot or whatever the hell you want to look up and how they do it. We don't have those. Nope, not at all. We got them for some of the cars, but nope, we don't have them like they have them, which literally means we'd have to develop them, which will take forever, or buy them from the countries that already have them, which makes us dependent on them, strangely, oddly enough, to build the industries that we say that we want to take over the industries with them. So we be using their bots, their robots, paying them a grip to build the industry in our country. And somehow we're going to be winning? Y'all stupid. You are stupid. We still will be relying on them for the robots and the pieces for the next decade. And that's what Donald Trump said. You guys are going to be hurting for a little bit, then we'll be back up. A little bit is a decade. Can you pay your bills for a decade until those jobs come back? No. No. So why support something that's going to F up your life for a decade? And if you listen to Jeffrey Epstein's next door neighbor, right? 6 feet, 7 feet away. If you listen to him, he literally says these jobs are coming back, but not the same way. It's going to be some, AI and some robots. And he also talks about it in another conversation, Howard Lutnick, that 14-year-olds, teenagers, are going to get jobs. So it tells you they're going to have 14-year-olds working these factories like it's Disneyland, and all they got to do is push a button and the robot works. And if the robot doesn't work anymore, they turn it off and they reset the button, and they're going to be making $12 an hour. No union. No union for you. These dreams of these unions jumping on the bandwagon of these rich people who wanted to bust unions. All of a sudden they care about your union. Boy, I just don't get it, yo. Racism is that good to you that you would fuck your whole life up for a bunch of rich people who give two shits about you just because they're white too. And that one person I was talking about earlier, Scott Besson, the dude who looked dead inside. He just stares and shit, just sits there. What the fuck is wrong with him? They say, oh, he's this like guru or something like that in investments. Yeah, he sits there, looks like this. Excuse me. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And you're the one who knows all this stuff about tariffs, but once you're asked, have tariffs worked for us? Another dude you probably need to worry about being a part of this ring of Jeffrey Epstein. I haven't found any emails of him. But once again, somebody who's supposed to know about tariffs, a person who's supposed to know about investing, a person who knows being a rich man, a billionaire, that what works and what doesn't for this country, has somehow lost his mind and doesn't recognize what tariffs really are. Somebody's got something on him. There's no way in hell you could be this lost, and everybody else who's in the industry of your Wall Street believed you to be a guru, a brilliant man, they called you. But somehow a brilliant man has lost his understanding of tariffs and the prices of shit. He was asked, the prices of food, have they gone down? Some of them. What the fuck is that? You're a bright brain, supposedly, and then you become like the dumbass mug from the lion from the Wizard of Oz or some shit. Or was that the Scarecrow? Well, both of them had that kind of type of shit. Dead-eye Besson. And it kills me that these people won't admit that everything's fucking gone up. There are some things that go down and back up, down and back up. gas prices and so forth. But that has a lot to deal with, policies that are making, and also these companies, how they have to mass produce or cut prices. It's all up and down with them. It's hard for even a president to even deal with that shit, right? It's the companies regulating themselves in a sense, and countries who are producing. There's only so much that can be produced. It's more detail to it than just being a president and making policy. So that stuff is kind of like, But when you throw tariffs on shit, oh, that's when you start effing things up. I mean, the prices, like steak went sky high. I think somebody mentioned, if it wasn't woke Mike, if I get it wrong, cars have doubled in certain situations. Parts have doubled in certain situations. Them getting rid of basically healthcare, but they just started back up. So I don't know. I haven't been able to check on it because, like I said, I've been out. I know at least for a month, people didn't either have healthcare or they was paying an astronomical amount because they extended it after the deadline. So I really got to research that because I haven't heard anybody talk about it. The news hasn't talked about it, but they extended it, I think, for 2 or 3 years. But the time of being able to have your insurance information in and to file for insurance, it had already passed. And usually, once it passed, the deadline passed, you got whatever insurance that is for the entire year. The following year is when you can change. That's what it used to be. I don't know if anybody may have that information. Please share it with people. I don't know whether their insurance is going to stay the way it is for a year, because I know it changed supposedly in February that this thing was supposed to come into to play, but it was November when you were supposed to have all your shit in. December, like 31st, you had to pay for January for the new insurance. So if you had to pay for the January and the new insurance, what happened? They didn't pass it until later, and it's supposed to go into effect, I guess, in February, but I don't get it. I haven't figured it out yet. I got to look it up. I got to look that up. I'm sorry I don't have that information for you, but it just came to mind right now because of all the things that were happening. I left in January, and I haven't been back until now. So I'll write down a note to find out more about that information. Even my healthcare changed, and I got to check on mine. I mean, I've already paid for mine, but yeah, it's crazy because it changed and all stuff like that. So I got to figure that all out. But anyway, the next thing, we're going back to the Jeffrey Epstein thing. This is going to be pretty much the last thing that I speak on. Let's deal with the fact that Todd Blanche said that there's nothing to charge, nobody to charge. And I call bullshit. But he says there's nobody to charge. And then from there, I'm not going to show Todd Blanche. I'm tired of him. Let's just show you where he could be charging or at least investigating. For some reason, when Jeffrey Epstein was unalived or by himself or whomever, whatever source, in jail, his brother blamed Donald Trump and the forces that may be, because he said that Barr was the head of DOJ, Bill Barr, and he ended up dying while Bill Barr was the head of DOJ. And what we don't understand, if you haven't looked it up, Bill Barr's father was the start of this monster, Jeffrey Epstein. Go look it up. Jeffrey Epstein got his way into this world of industry and stuff like that by Bill Barr's father. Now, he had to have had something on Bill Barr's father. Why do I say this? Jeffrey Epstein didn't have a degree. He was a nobody. Now, Bill Barr said something to the effect that he thought he was a really smart guy, even though he didn't have a degree or anything like that. And he hired him for the Dalton High School to be able to teach the kids at this school without an education, without a license for teaching, without knowing anything about the individual subject that he was teaching. Never had done it before that we know of, right? And Bill Barr's father put him in this position. Why would you put a nobody, no money, broke kid you ain't never heard of before over the elite children? These people are paying astronomical numbers of money to send their kids to this Dalton school. Rich billionaires and so forth. Millionaires, probably multimillionaires back then. We only had a few billionaires back then. And sent them there to be taught by Jeffrey Epstein. And lo and behold, Jeffrey Epstein gets fired by Bill Barr's father for doing what? Messing around with one of the children at that high school, where the parents recognized that Jeffrey Epstein had did something to their daughter. That's when he was released from that school, Dalton High School, which happened to be Bill Barr's father. Now, could you imagine what that family thought of Bill Barr's father after they realized he had hired a man that wasn't qualified for the job, that either molested or at least did something to their young daughter? Can you imagine what happened to his father? Probably ostracized, probably talked much shit about. I don't know what his career or whatever happened, but can you feel the idea that maybe Bill Barr hated Jeffrey Epstein for what he did to his father, put him in a position where his father stuck his neck out and Jeffrey Epstein messed with some 16-year-old girl or teenage girl at this high school where he had to get fired. And now Bill Barr's father's got to answer for why he hired a pedophile for the elite children's school. Yeah, his father probably got his ass reamed majorly for that, if not fired. So I would think Bill Barr would have a grudge against Jeffrey Epstein. And it's just so crazy how Jeffrey Epstein died in a jail in which Bill Barr was the head of. No, like, investigation there to see that Bill Barr was connected to Jeffrey Epstein through his father, who hired this pedophile that harmed kids at a school, an elite school. None of that. You even heard the news talk about it, have you? It's crazy how the news has not talked about Bill Barr's father hired a pedophile who harmed a child at the Dalton High School many, many moons ago. And then after that, this same said pedophile somehow got a job at Bear and Stearns. He gets a job there making a few, like 20,000 or something like that a year, whatever it may be. He moves up quick. He's making 200, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in a very short time. And then after that, he left there and started his own business with only one billionaire. And that would be Wexler, who is the, like, I guess the magnet for, Victoria's Secret and other things. He was a billionaire. And being with this billionaire, being his client or whatever for a while, he gets him to believe that people who are around him are stealing his money or something, that he needed Jeffrey Epstein to have power of attorney of all his shit. And he signs over power of attorney to Jeffrey Epstein, who would proceed to rob this man blind. Took his money, got the $77 million mansion, and somehow he became rich beyond his wildest dreams and never really having a fucking job worth a damn in his life that would do it. Just got the sign over of attorney from somebody else's money and lived off this man's money. Could you imagine what Wexler had done to him, or what dirt he had on Wexler that would make a man give up his billions to some little snotty-nosed bastard that just came into his life? Could you imagine what he had on this man? Another person that needs to be investigated. Wexler. Has to be, if he's still alive. Has to be. He's the start of this monster. He had to know what this man was doing with his money, with his property. He had to have known. And what he did that Jeffrey Epstein had on him. They talk about follow the money. Follow it, baby. Follow it all the way back to Bill Barr giving a man a job who had no qualifications for it. Was Bill Barr part of the Epstein situation? Because this man had to bribe Bill Barr's father to get his job. There's no way in hell this man got a job at the Dalton High School. Hell, I guarantee you can't get a job at the Compton High School without any kind of validation that you could teach or even know the subject. But you're going to go to an elite school and teach? Not going to happen, y'all. It ain't happening no time soon. And somehow he did it. And then goes on to be a billionaire off another billionaire's money. He doesn't have any kind of credentials to actually invest money. He has no qualifications for none of that. And we got Howard Lutnick saying massage tables and cameras is how he made his money. Which takes you back to Bill Barr's father giving him a job without validation or any kind of qualifications. So he must have caught him doing something, right? Donald Trump, his best buddy. He has something on Donald Trump for Donald Trump to be all up in his face, or they were just buddies because they both learned to do the same thing to everybody else. Birds of a feather flock together. When you start to look at what Donald Trump did, you got to understand, most people trip. If you go look at the research, Donald Trump had a modeling agency before Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein followed in Donald Trump's steps to get these agencies in these little girls. Donald Trump already had it. So these two became homies over owning these girls. And the one who's escaped it all is the orange, what? I say OPIC, orange pedophile in chief. I'm just saying. Go look it up. That's exactly what happened with them. They got together and they both did the same thing. And Jeffrey Epstein said that he was the one who, Donald Trump had the what's it called? The pageantries. I guess it was the teen, whatever. I don't get into those things, but he had that teen competition, whatever, for the models. Jeffrey Epstein didn't. Jeffrey Epstein ended up getting the Victoria's Secret model situation, but he wasn't using the Victoria's Secret model situation. He was using this man's money. But then he realized he had the same thing, but he had Victoria's Secret. So he ended up starting to do it just like Donald Trump. And who had access to the models in this country? Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein. You'll start seeing in these emails about them sending girls out to different places and them coming back. And you'll find that by just typing up gynecologist. Jeffrey Epstein must have been like the go-to guy for gynecologists. Women were like, oh, I got can you pay the $500 because they don't take Amex? Amex, what do you want to call it? Yeah. You'll see this in a second, but we're gonna look at his brother's email. OPIC, OPIC, there you go. The orange pedophile in chief. So here we're going to see his brother's email, Mark L. Epstein. Now, here's the thing that's so tripped, is that this is how I figured it out. See, they had it blacked out. You see that ISMO at the top? IZMO? Yeah. It's blacked out. Can't tell who it is, right? Then you got the Jeffrey Epstein, and it start from the bottom and go to the top. At the bottom, it says, do you remember the name of the gynecologist that you used to send your victims to? This is his brother. Asking him for a gynecologist. First of all, why is a man asking another man for a gynecologist? And he's saying it like, send your victims to. Like he got victims too. I want to send mine to him. I just want to send the new victims I got to there. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me. Tell me where you send your victims to. I want to send my victims as well. We don't know what he meant by it. But he is so cavalier to talk about send your victims to, not send your girlfriend to, not the girl that you know. Remember that girl that we was talking to? She had that great gynecologist she didn't do nothing but brag about. What was that girl's gynecologist's name? I want to send my girlfriend. She's been asking me. None of that. None of that. That would justify why he's asking. This man's asking him does he know who he sent, the gynecologist he sent his victims to. Huh. And then you probably read the entire thing, but we're going to read it go up. The next thing, New York. This man has been around the world and got gynecologists, what, in every state, every country? I don't know. But he had to ask, which one? The New York one? I got one in New Mexico, New York, got it in France. I got, where you need it at? This man has got gynecologists on lock. They're calling him like he's a gynecologist. Man that doesn't have a degree for shit. But when you start to read these emails, you'll realize he's trying to create a breed of super or supreme being people. And he's one of them, you know, the superior gene thing. He's trying to create that. So nobody really thought about the fact that he was impregnating these children. And they were having babies. That's why he needed all these gynecologists. Because the girls he was sending out had to get checked. And when you listen to some of the shit they're saying, they have to validate to him why they're checking. Oh, I'm just checking for just normal gynecologist stuff. No, nothing else. Like no VD, no all this other shit. It's just normal. Just normal. Don't worry. Why you got to tell this man the reason why you're getting a gynecologist? Because he doesn't want you to have a disease and all things of that nature. And why does he need to know about your gynecology situation? And why is he paying for it? It's crazy. Women are literally saying, I love the time we had with the girls last night. I need to go to a gynecologist. It's like $500. They won't take it on an Amex card. Can you pay for it? And he sends them to people. I forgot her name. Yeah, tell her about it. I guess this is the woman that should be under investigation for all these damn gynecologist appointments she had to be setting up. What happened to the doctors that they've been going to? These gynecologists need to be checked, investigated. How the hell this man sending you 500 people a month or whatever the fuck it may be? They asking so much, he must be sending a lot. As you see in the next conversation, this man said, yes, many years ago, you used to send them to a gyno in New York who once commented something to the effect that you were keeping him in business single-handedly. Not unless his brother's working for the FBI to get him caught up, which could be. This man is literally talking cavalier about a gynecologist that he kept in business. Do you understand how many people he had to send to think that this man is keeping him in business? He couldn't be sending them one or two. He had to be sending them a lot. And why? He's a pedophile. Yeah. It pisses you off, boy. I've been reading these throughout the day. I always wondered if he wasn't, I want to choke him to death for the shit that I'm seeing, man. Now, I wanted you guys to see some of this shit because, you know, I was like, you know, I know y'all probably don't did your own research, but we're going to go to, hopefully it's still open because I've been on for a while. It may not be open anymore. I may have to file back in, but it asks you for your age. Other than that, no password or nothing. This is the Epstein files. But let's go ahead and do this real quick, see if it works. How I found out about this stuff was that somebody mentioned it. And I was like, let me check this out. Somebody mentioned it. I don't know if it was one of my mutuals or one of the people that I see every once in a while. But gynecologists. Nobody told me this. I just read up on one thing and I was like, wait a minute. Gynecologist. Let me type that up. Because his brother said gynecologist. Now, here's the thing. His brother said gynecologist, but he's a nitwit. See how these people have money and they don't know shit? This man don't know how to spell gynecologist. This man spelled G-Y-N-O. It's G-Y-N-E. So when you do G-Y-N-O, there's a bunch of emails that are attached that comes from his idiot brother, Mark Epstein. But when you type the actual way it's spelled, yeah, you will trip. Look at that shit. Look at that. Let's go back to the top. There are literally, if I can slow this down, stop it. There are literally hundreds. Matter of fact, there's 150. I looked it up earlier. 150 Thank you very much for the organization today. It was amazing. I got her book, Teeth, and my appointment, whatever the hell it is, my gynecologist. Somebody's asking for. Let's see what we got. Due to technical limitation in the format of whatever, portions of these documents may not be electronically searchable. Oh, that's crazy. They're not giving them all to me. Earlier it was 150. Let's see if we can. That's not good. Oh, maybe it just kicked me out. That's probably why. Nope. Even if she had a period now. Girls, go backwards. Should I organize it? My gynecologist. Thank you very much for the organization today. Show. It was amazing. Something got her booked. Teeth in my appointment. View all good. Have fun. Kisses. Whoever that is. Let's go back. This might be the same person. Just previous email. Yeah, that's the same person. There should be way more than this. They're only giving you like 11 or some shit. I should have saved them, yo. I think they're deleting them. Let's do this shit again. Gynecologist, go from the very beginning. The hell is that? What is going on with these files? Oh, there it is. Gynecologist. Uh-oh. Let's see if you see me type it in. Where's it at? Do you see it? Do you see? There we go. Gynecologist. See if I spell it right. There it is. 109. 109. And you'll see them talk about it. Okay, this one right here. We need to get a girl. Hi, Kim. We need to get a girl who works for Jeffrey an appointment with a gynecologist today or tomorrow. I keep calling around and no one is available until next week. Jeffrey is asking if Ava can help. Can you let me know ASAP? Why are they in a hurry for a kid or girl to have a gynecologist? This was 2015. 2015. He got arrested in 2006 to not be doing this anymore. Here we are 9 years later. He's still doing it. And we know he's still doing it. So why did the FBI take so long? Fact is, they never really stopped him. While he was in jail, he was doing it. Which they should have known, but they didn't care. Huge, huge victimization of these women, of these girls who are now women. But you'll see, look at all of these conversations about gynecology. And this is a man. A man. There's no reason they should be asking him for stuff. Girls asking him. There's one in here asking, again, I don't know where it's at now, but she's asking him to pay $500 for her gynecology run. Somebody even in Europe needs one. This man was around the world. And if this is the thing, where's the investigation of the Europe people that he did this to? Because he had to have a home in Europe doing it as well. I mean, these people were talking about getting a gynecologist in New York, in Europe, in different other places. I can't find why a legitimate reason somebody would be asking this man for gynecology, especially seeing as how these kids are getting pregnant and they say he didn't have children. So what happened to the children that he spawned with these children that you hear in these emails? I'm just saying, it's just sickening. It really is. It should piss everybody off, no matter where you come from. Janet's text. What's Janet's text say? And here you talking about? Let me see what Janet said. Hold on. I don't see Janet yet. Janet. And I don't think she texted me. Not unless she texted me on TikTok. But I don't see Janet. I'm going back to see. Hold up, I'm reading my comments. Yeah, I don't see anything what Janet said. Maybe it's on TikTok. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get to TikTok and see what she's talking about. Nah, she ain't sent me on TikTok either. Yeah, it's not on TikTok. I don't have any text. Yeah, Rude and Planet Janet. I don't have any text on Rude and Planet Janet, right? Oh, it was just earlier. Rude, the last one, the brutal cold caused my car to break down. She's talking about her car, and I have to pay $600 to fix it. That one? Oh, could you post a GoFundMe at the link will come up because you are a mod. Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead and put her in the comment section or send it to me. Send me the link and I'll put it up on YouTube, on TikTok. You can put it up here in the comment section. If you have the link, put it in the comment section. I don't have that. Keep going up. Let me see. Oh, a partner died. I'm so sorry to hear that, Rude. Died of a heart complication at 53. That's so young. I'm 55. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Prayers lifted up for you. That's the only thing that I see. I'll say, Mr. Trayvon, my fiance is 15 years died January. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Your fiance, man. Prayers lifted up to you. For real. I'm so sorry you lost your loved one. It's not easy, you know. And that was sudden too. It didn't seem like he was ill the way it was said earlier. He had a heart complication. Usually those come on quick, not unless he had heart issues his entire life. But I understand, you know, I lost my sister many years ago in front of you. Ooh. Yeah, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. Prayers lifted up for you. Again, put in the comments or send it to DJ or to me, and we'll see what we can do. I'll try and see if I can make a video for you on TikTok. If you don't have TikTok, on YouTube, I'll try and make something as well. You guys send me information. This is not on YouTube. I have never done this before. So TikTok, I have a bigger audience. Now I got a bigger audience here, I believe. But I've had a bigger audience on TikTok. So just let me know, and I'll see what I can do. And I'm sorry you're facing homelessness, man. It's coming like a flood. I say prayers for you. Sorry about that, Rude and Player Janet. That's not easy. That's not easy. All right. Let me get off of this. It's been crazy. Like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna try and get up on the healthcare, catch up on that, and find out what's going on so that we know for sure what people are going through. Because again, I don't think I've seen anybody talk about it. I know they signed that bill to extend it for I think 2 or 3 years. But what does that mean to people, seeing as how the deadline had ended and everybody had to pay, not unless they extended it, which I didn't see. All right. But give me that information. DJ, if you can give it to me, I appreciate it. And I'll get it off my TikTok and see what I can do to be able to help. I'll go look at the GoFundMe myself and see what's going on. And good luck. Don't give up. I will not give up. We keep the fight going. Love you guys. I appreciate you for being subscribers, members. Let people know more about me so that we can grow and be able to make things happen. Again, you know, I'm working on, not only do I talk about the problem, I'm a stickler, the way I was raised. to not only confront the problem, but then to come up with solutions. So we're dealing avid solutionists. It's been set back because, you know, my mom's ill. So I was going to launch it this month, but can't do it because I had to spend 3 weeks and still working with from Indiana, from California to my where she's at now in Mississippi. I'm still working every day, talking to people, making sure we can get her in the right places and things of that nature. So, yeah, bear with me. I'm going to keep with the facts because that's the way she raised me. And I'm going to deal with the solutions because that's also the way she raised me. And we're going to do what we can in this process. I have been looking up Democrat leaders, not just Democrats ourselves, but Democrat leaders. There has got to be something that you can do to investigate Donald Trump and his minions as they're in office. We shouldn't wait until the end to find out that these people have been plotting to mess with elections. These people are plotting with somebody needs to be following these people legally, of course, because when Tulsi Gabbard ends up at these polls, you need to have an equal force on the opposite end of her saying, why are you here? What justifies you being here? Because again, intimidating people literally means in this situation, we need to have an opposite force intimidating them back, saying you're not welcome here at this point. There's no reason to need you here, so you need to leave. They should not be able to run around, you know, and do it willy-nilly and do whatever the hell they want to do. Democrats, you have got to be a governing force for the people. You've got to be doing something, sticking your neck in the way, sticking your foot in the way, whatever it may be. All these things they're doing, you can't just be reactionary. You have to find out what they're doing, research what they're doing, watch their steps. Somebody should be watching Russ vote. Somebody should be on him. Wherever he is at, somebody needs to be watching his office, listening to him, doing something, because at this point, the shit they're doing in all these different situations that are legal, Democrats, we can't wait for you to have an election. We literally need you, legally as you can possibly make it, to get in the way, to be that bee or fly that's buzzing around, that's nagging the shit out of them. Don't let them be the bee. You got to eventually be that bee that's nagging the hell out of them and not just sitting around waiting for the world to go back to norm. This is starting to become our norm. And if you ain't fighting for democracy, it's not going to heal or fix itself. That's why we got you in office. Fight or get out of this game and let somebody get in, maybe these younger groups of people, to do better. Because this is getting old. And at some point in time, excuse my language, you guys have got to grow a pair. And I mean some big mountain oyster balls to get your ass in there and fight instead of just sitting here giving us this fucking yappity yap. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear, well, we're going to do this. No, fuck all that. You need to be in their face. If you ain't agitating the fuck out of them, you don't need to be in office. Because once you agitate them, they can't focus. And they move all kind of fucked up ways. But you let them ride life just as normal, then they wake up every day and destroy this country piece by piece, and all you do is react to it. We ain't got time for reactors. We need actors. Step up or shut up and get the fuck out of the business. All right. Good night, fam. I love y'all. As always, prayers to you, Janet. And we're going to try and do whatever we can. If it gets into maybe next tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Friday. If you have that link, you can put it in the comment section. You have no problems. You come back, put it in the comment section as much as you can. Or DJ, whomever's here throughout the show. I have no problem with it. I'll validate it and say, hey, yo, if you can, do whatever. And then also I'll try and make a video about it and try and help. I'm going to go to your site so I can get some, pictures or something or whatever. And it may be on it to kind of help out. Okay? Much love to y'all. Y'all have a good night. Be safe as always. I appreciate every last one of you. As always, you know how it goes. I'll see you when I see you.